They walk beside us, in silence. They don't speak our language, yet they understand more than we think. Some sit endlessly by a door that no longer opens. Some lie still beside a cold grave for days. All because of a memory they can't let go. We call them animals. But in moments of love, loss, and loyalty, they are no different from us. This isn't just a film about animals. It's about hearts that once loved. Goodbyes that were never spoken. And how they quietly teach us to feel. These are 8 true stories. They may break you, and they may also mend you. "9 years waiting for someone who never returned." The true story of Hachiko. Tokyo, 1925. Every morning, he left home for work. And every afternoon, a pair of eyes was waiting. But that day, he never came back. The dog's name was Hachiko. Each evening, he returned to Shibuya Station. Same time, same spot, waiting for a shadow that never appeared. One day, people began to notice. They brought food. They took photos. But Hachiko wasn't waiting for the world. He was waiting for one man. And one day, he lay down for the last time, right where he had always waited. And there, a statue was raised to tell the world, true love never leaves. Kitten saves owner from fire. On a snowy night, the house lay asleep. No fire alarm. No voice calling out. Only a cat, awakened before the man. It said nothing. Only scratched. Only cried. Only tried to wake him. An old man opened his eyes and saw the room was burning. In panic, he clutched the cat and stepped out from the flaming house. They survived. When asked, "How did you escape?" he didn't answer right away. Just looked down at the cat sleeping in his arms. Then whispered, "It woke me, no one else." Not all rescue comes from machines. Sometimes, it comes from a small paw. In the middle of fire. Whisper of mercy in the wild. In the wilds of South Africa, there lived a man who gave no commands. He listened and whispered. Lawrence Anthony, the elephant whisperer, rescued 9 wild elephants once deemed too dangerous to live. If he hadn't taken them in, they would have been shot. No chains. No fences. Just a leather notebook, a calm voice, and endless patience. And over time, they trusted him. He remembered them all, their names, their habits, their eyes. That herd later grew to 21 elephants, still roaming free, but never far from him. In 2012, Lawrence passed away unexpectedly. Silence returned to his home. Then something miraculous happened. All 21 elephants, split into 2 herds, left the wild, crossed dry land and old riverbeds, and found their way back to his house. No one led them. No food was placed. No reason anyone could explain. They stood there, for 2 full days and nights. No sound, no movement, heads bowed, as if attending a funeral. Then, as quietly as they came, they turned, and walked back into the wild. Some loves need no words. Some memories walk back to say goodbye, on the feet of elephants. A hug amid the wildfire. In nature, the young survive under their mother's protection. But when nature turns violent, that rule can be broken. A wildfire in Montana. Temperatures soar past 800 degrees Celsius. Winds shift by the minute. Every living creature is pushed to the edge of survival. A bear cub, lightly burned, separated from its mother, crying faintly beneath the ash. By instinct, it doesn't run, it waits. A human approaches, not its kind, not its mother, but the only warmth and safety left in a collapsing world. Lifted gently in a fireproof jacket, the cub buries its head into the man's collar, as if that body is its final shelter. Science calls it a survival response. But we, as humans, call it trust. That moment, a fragile life, exhausted, trusting a complete stranger, became a symbol, not of strength, but of compassion. Because sometimes, survival needs more than oxygen and water. It needs a gentle embrace in the middle of disaster. Amid war, a love that stayed behind. During the long years of war in Ukraine, amid gunfire and falling shells, there emerged a story not found in any military report. A young soldier, in a rare moment of stillness near the front line, found an abandoned puppy. They became companions, sharing food, warmth, and moments that danced between life and death. When the soldier fell during an attack, his comrades brought his body back behind the lines. But the dog didn't follow. He stayed, curled beside the shallow, makeshift grave. Day after day, through snow, shellfire, and darkness, he remained. Not waiting for anyone. Not eating. Not moving. A survival instinct? An obsession? Or, the deepest form of memory and grief an animal can show? Behavioral scientists have long debated whether dogs truly grieve. But in the face of such a sight, a starving dog lying motionless beside his master's photo, perhaps even science must bow to what it cannot measure. They took him away. He refused to eat. And then, he tried to return, at any cost. In every war, there are lives that know nothing but love. And some memories don't belong to maps. They belong to the heart. When a heart stops beating. At a quiet little lake in Germany, two white swans had lived together their entire lives. They were not just a symbol of love. They were living proof of fidelity in nature. But then, one day, the male swan collapsed after a violent attack by a wild animal. The female did not fly away, did not cry for help. She simply stayed, silently, beside her partner's body. For days, she neither ate nor moved. She didn't swim alone. Until one moment, she laid her head upon his cold wings and never rose again. Researchers confirm, swans mate for life. They can love, they can grieve, and they can feel the pain of loss. This was not just a death. It was the shattering of a soul that knew love, in a world we often believe to be emotionless. Milo. Echoes of a voice. Some memories don't need words to be remembered. At an animal rescue center in the UK, a moment was captured that left millions speechless. An African grey parrot named Milo had lived for over 10 years beside an elderly woman. They weren't just companions, they were soulmates. Every morning, she would say,
"Milo, good morning, darling."
They talked, sang together, and shared tender moments in their little home. But then, she passed away from illness. Milo was taken to a rescue center. For weeks, he said nothing, barely ate, didn't sing. He just stood there, silent, as if waiting for something that would never return. Until one day, a staff member played an old voice recording, the woman's voice calling his name.
"Milo, good morning, darling."
The parrot let out a piercing screech, feathers flaring. Then, with a trembling voice, he repeated the exact same phrase. As if her soul was still there in the room. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't clear, but it was full of emotion. Milo wept, and people said, he remembered. Science confirms, African grey parrots have extraordinary audio memory. But that emotion, no scientist can measure. Because love lives beyond words. And memory never dies. The Little Seal and an Old Promise. In a remote bay in northern Iceland, a man once saved a small, helpless life, a baby seal, tangled in a fishing net, gasping for air on the cold, rocky shore. He spent hours cutting the ropes, cleaning the wounds, and releasing it back into the freezing ocean. What seemed like a fleeting moment became something more. Every spring, that same seal returns. It swims close to shore, lifting its head at the exact spot where it was rescued. It recognizes him, and he recognizes it. No words, just a gaze, just a quiet call, like two old friends, finding each other again in this vast world. Sometimes, the deepest bonds come from where no one expects. A seal remembers the one who saved its life. And it returns. Year after year. Some stories need no words. They're told through silent eyes, waiting footsteps, and cries that tremble through the quiet. From a train station in Tokyo, to burning forests, to cold battlefields, And from the simplest moments in life. A gentle paw on your lap when you're sad. A quiet nuzzle at the door. Or the way they never look away, even when you're about to leave. The love animals give us is quiet, unwavering, and unconditional. In a world that feels so fragile, we need these stories to remind us. Even unspoken love can heal a broken heart. If you believe in moments like these, subscribe to our channel to help us keep telling the stories that make your heart ache and then heal.